Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. I'm a multimillionaire and living a luxurious life with my boyfriend. We're planning to get married soon. Being rich is not an easy task. Life becomes hard as you often face people with bad hearts, buttering you for their own purposes. And I'm going to share an interesting story of a betrayal. It is my story, and I was ditched badly by my husband. I graduated with a degree in pharmacology and started a job in a well-reputed company. I was young and passionate about the latest research and field-related work. In the company, I met James. He was senior to me as he was supposed to supervise me there. In the beginning, I felt as if he was a rude person. But when we started working together on different projects, the situation became normal. He was interested in my life and, most importantly, in my background. I told her about my father's business and his success in the clothing industry. He seemed as if he was inspired by my father's efforts and strategies. He often talked about him, though I wanted to avoid such talks. I was interested in him. He was a man, seemingly a bold character. His authoritative voice and the massive body structure had cast a spell on me. I liked the way he used to speak, and his ideas never flunked to amaze me. He was a talented guy, and I believed that he was bestowed with a good heart too, but I was wrong. The casual meetings were changed to informal ones. He arranged a dinner in one of the most expensive restaurants in the town. I was shocked at how he could manage such niceties because, as far as I know, he wasn't supposed to afford it. My brain convinced me that he must have won a lottery. By the way, it was the best dinner of my life. The calm waves from the violins were hitting my eardrums. His appearance was enough to soothe my troubled eyes. I felt as if he was just the perfect man who could be with me forever. It was unexpected but happened. He proposed with a touchy whisper. "Can you be mine for the rest of my life?" These words had sparked something inside my body. I felt as if a wave just raced across the back of mine. Before I could respond to him with my words, he spoke again. "I want to confess that I love you." He took a small pause and cleared his throat. "And I can't live without you." His hand slipped into the pocket of his jacket. Fishing out a small box, he held my hand. The other hand opened the little box. There was a ring inside it. An astonishing ring was reflecting the light, glinting beautifully, and tendered my heart. We kissed each other, and I felt the warmth of his passion. I introduced him to my father, who gave his consent in the first meeting. My dad behaved as if he didn't care who I married. We got married next month. Life was going well. I enjoyed his presence around me. I never felt that all this would be ended. A sudden change happened in our relationship after the death of my father. We learned that my father had married a woman. To me, it was a great shock that my father had given most of the property to my stepmom. The shock was even greater for my husband. The house in which we were living was given to me by my father. But according to his will, the woman claimed that house too, and we had to leave it. The true face of James started to be revealed. He was after my dad's money. He married me to acquire the business of clothing. Now, I wasn't the sole owner, as a major portion of the assets belonged to my stepmom. The drastic change in his attitude affected me mentally. More misery was going to be added to my life when the daughter of the company's owner returned to the town after her study abroad. She was going to lead the company where we were working. She was young and beautiful enough to attract the prettiest guy of the town. James knew how to play. He started spending time with her. She'd often invited him to her house and not me. I was worried, as he was spending more time in her office or house than with me. I wasn't able to suffer this pain of detachment. I gave up and got separated. It didn't hurt him, as he was after the woman and her money. He had got what he wanted. I left the company too, obviously. Joining another pharma company, I enrolled myself in a master's degree too. I was passionate about doing something big in my life. I was living alone and spent most of the time on my research work. Meanwhile, a disease broke out in the whole state. It was a respiratory disease, something relatable to corona. I started collecting data on this very particular disease. I needed funds to channelize my research properly, and the amount provided by my college wasn't enough to support my research. I decided to take out a loan and went straight to a bank. After understanding their policies, I decided to go with them. There I met the true lover of mine, Charles. He was the head of the loan section. It was nice meeting him in the bank, but the meeting didn't remain confined to the premises of the bank. He approached me, and soon we were enjoying the weekends together. He helped me through thick and thin and believed that I would do something remarkable. He became my emotional strength. I wasn't making progress at the start of my research. I tried to give up like 10 times, but every time, he pushed me to stick to the work. At last, I made it. I had discovered a formula to combat the deadly disease which had affected the state. Pharma associations declared that formula was the best invention of the century. I got 50% share in a company, and the manufacturing process of that very drug started. The pharma community provided me with a huge amount as a reward and extra to continue the research work. A laboratory was established in my name and funds were awarded. I became a multimillionaire with my efforts and the emotional support of Charles. On the other hand, James got what he deserved. He didn't have enough money to hire a lawyer to get out of the bars. His formula of a drug had caused the death of nearly 300 people in the town. The court of law canceled his license and placed him behind the bars. The company where he worked also suffered in repute, and the owner wasn't willing to help James anyway. Now, Charles and I have to decide the date for our marriage.